Green School implements the first electric school bus in Bali. But things just didn't go to plan. I've had a lot of ideas of what I should do for Greenstone, one of them being that electric biobus. This was ambitious. This would have been the pinnacle of what I have been doing for the last 7 years of my life here at Green School. But it just didn't go to plan. Biobus, the shining staple of Green School Bali, all starting with one simple problem that got turned into a fleet of 7 vehicles. This gave the community a way to change the way that they transport themselves with the hope of being more environmentally conscious. Now, I've been a part of Biobus for quite some time. I've seen its highs and its lows. It is now an option for families, but not one that many take. Biobus still is an icon of Green School, and always will be. But because of certain events like COVID, it has been on a very slippery slope. This was a way to revitalize Biobus and see it shine once more. This would have been a statement of progression for us as a school, but also a community. This is when I thought of that idea and started getting down into the nitty-gritty of what it would actually look like. And well, I stand here today without that bus. I contacted lots of companies reaching out for help, harassing big vehicle companies on Twitter and spamming them with emails. Despite Green School even retweeting my messages, not even Elon Musk responded. I started talking to more people and started to realize that trying to get a school bus at Green School that would have costed 500 million rupiah was the size of 2 of our current biobuses and wouldn't have even been able to fit down our road, wouldn't have been the best idea. Now, let's say there are 50 school buses in Bali, and most of these aren't in use every day, so trying to change one of those buses to electric wouldn't have made the impact that I was going for. Electric bikes would change that. There are 5.5 million motorbikes in Bali as of 2019. That's 11 million kilograms of CO2 just per day for 20 kilometers of travel. That's like flying from Bali to Singapore 23,404 times in just a single day. I started to think about it more, and what was clear throughout the beginning of this was that the clear winner of emissions was the motorbikes, so why not just focus on them? After realizing that I couldn't do the electric bus, I was flushed out with a feeling of doubt, a feeling that I wasn't going to achieve anything even when I put my mind to it. I started out so ambitious talking up this idea of an electric bus that I got lost in my own words and didn't know what to do anymore. However, to make that bus a reality, it needed that 500 million investment. But even if I got that, there wasn't a bus in Indonesia that would have met my specifications. And also, converting a current biobus would have costed 1.5 billion rupiah. I felt like I could have seen it through, but it would have become lots of managing and the long search for funding, rather than building something which is what I was passionate about. I've struggled with that feeling of doubt a lot. I set out to reach a goal, and when I'm up to my neck with ideas and passion, there always seems to be one roadblock in my way. I tried working around this, but as I got deeper and deeper into the idea of this bus, that is when I struggled the most. Struggling with the idea of achievement and that myself and what I do isn't adequate enough is something that I've always felt. I wanted my Greenstone to be the biggest project of the year. I wanted it to change the minds of the people in our community and start a new wave of growth. But through this, I learned that maybe I'm not alone, and that I have the vast knowledge of our community right at my fingertips. I was approached by Matt from Scoot. He was offering something that sparked ideas to rush into my mind and make me think about what I can do next to get through another roadblock. This was it. This is when I realized I had the power to change the course of my Greenstone and my future. I started having more meetings and thinking about what is happening around Bali to do with electric bikes. I've always asked myself one question throughout all of this. Why is this important to me? But perhaps the question I should have been asking is, why is this important to us? I go to a school where the first thing I see, smell, and hear is nature. We are literally surrounded by it. But I have never thought about how me and my trusty Vario get to school and the future impact it might have. Also, living on an island where the best way to get around is on a motorbike clouds our minds from what the real problem is, which is PM 2.5. And it is something that is profoundly affecting the island of Bali. It is a particulate matter that is 2.5 microns in diameter. It is an air pollutant that is a concern for people's health when there are increased levels in the air, and sadly for Bali, that is something we are facing right now. It's not only affecting the people who live here, but their livelihoods, and will cost the loss of millions for local people. This pollutant reduces Indonesia's life expectancy by 4.8 years. And if we don't do something about this in the future, we are looking at a loss of nearly 309 million life years. Because of those 5.5 million motorbikes, we are experiencing this. And it will only get worse as Bali develops. More roads only equal more motorbikes and vehicles that can access them. But what if we make a small change in the way Bali develops to reduce the footprint of emissions by millions? Well, Bali is taking some initiative, with a reduction target of 40,000 tons, 140,000 more electric motorbikes, 6,000 electric cars, and 50 electric buses by 2026. This is the change we want. Oliver and Matt approached me with a proposal to rebuild old Scoot e-bikes that had just been laying around. As I got further into this rabbit hole of electric bikes, and the thought of getting my hands on these e-bikes deepened, leading me to think I was going to get myself through another roadblock and push forward. It was a feeling that hadn't come often, so I leant on this and kept having meetings till I finally went and met Donnie Herwan at Makara. Makara is a workshop where they buy and sell all types of electric vehicles, from an electric Jimny that they are currently working on or Scoot and new e-bikes. They are a small business, but they have incredible people working for them, people who are trying to make a change in the way Bali moves forward. There were so many incredible different projects around, from an ATV to an electric mobility scooter, even to a golf cart. I had to learn new things. I couldn't just sit back and wait for other people to do my Greenstone for me. So I drew out the contracts with the help of Oliver and Donnie and started working out the budget. This was no easy task, so I ended up spending 3 months trying to figure out what should be in a legal contract. I created a partnership between Scoot, Makara, New, and Green School that will hopefully continue on with the help of this community. After the contract was drawn up, I made the long journey to Makara and set my eyes on the bikes that I was going to be working on for the next months. At Green School, we have 2 PLN charging stations just outside the iHub, and barely anyone is using them. The community made an effort to bring in these charging stations, but barely anyone is taking advantage of that. But then again, why would you if you don't have an electric bike? I looked at that empty road and wondered what I could do to give that space a sense of presence, a space for people to look at and wonder what is going on inside. In January this year, I joined the architecture class with Pat Jonathan. I walked into that class not thinking much about what was going to be happening, but when he walked in, I was blown away. He was offering something that sparked ideas to rush into my mind and make me think about what I can do next with my Greenstone to push through another roadblock. He thought of a way to teach us what we needed to know and how to spark ideas. Everything he said had passion behind it, which is what led me to do what I did next. I used AI to create these images of what I wanted the charging station to be, a space to create a rush of thought inside people's minds. This is the final design I got, and thanks to Pak Gedek Antara, he made a model and a list of all the materials that we needed. Funding was easy thanks to Kate and the community that we have here at Green School. And it's going to be built over the summer, and it will be the first thing you all see when you drive through. But all of a sudden, I got hit with another roadblock. I had spent weeks trying to get funding for these electric bikes that I thought had come through, but never did. I was going to Makara, working on these bikes, thinking that the parts I thought were ordered had arrived, but they never did. But thankfully, this issue was solved with one phone call to Oliver and a meeting with Kate, and we were back in business. I had a vision for those bikes, but was scared for that vision to be seen by anyone. Oliver again helped me with this and made sure that these bikes would look and run like they always should have. Throughout all of this, there was always one person who would help me through everything. His name is Adri, and he works at Makara. He was set the task of helping me figure everything out, but unfortunately for him, he had his work cut out for him. Yes, I knew how to do a lot of mechanical things, but every 10 minutes I would get stuck and need to ask for his help. Every time I went to Makara, I came closer to the vision of these ideal bikes. not necessarily the fastest or the most expensive, but they were what I was passionate about and what I wanted. Despite all the challenges I have faced, I stand here today with 3 electric bikes that I have built with the help of Makara and are going to be used by the community. But as you can see, there are only 2. The other one got finished an hour before I got here, so I couldn't have brought it. But here's the 2 I built. I think you've probably noticed this electric bike behind me. And no, I didn't build it. I wish I did. But it was built by Energica. They're a company out of Italy that is paving the way for the future of what Bali needs to be with the help of the Indonesian government and police. They go from 0 to 100 in 2.8 seconds. I've driven one similar to this thanks to John Hardy, and once I got off that thing, all the teachers in Sugi were asking what had happened. All they saw was a small glimpse of me zooming past from the security gate to Ajik's. All of those moments of me feeling like a failure came back to bite me in the ass. I'm sure you've probably experienced a moment where you've been stuck inside your own head, trying to crawl your way out, trying to reach for a handhold but never being able to grab it. Times when you've been driving down an imaginary road, dreading what is around that next corner. What if I told you that these were necessary? If we never experienced a feeling of failure or a roadblock in our lives that we didn't push through or get around, then what did we actually learn about ourselves? The feeling of something stopping in your path to reaching your goal. The feeling that makes you stop and realize what it is you're actually doing with your life. The feeling that makes you resent or guilty because you didn't try hard enough. Not wanting to play that game of snakes and ladders, but on your board, there are no ladders and only snakes. No way up, no way forwards, another roadblock. I want you all to think about this on your way home today. I want you to think about when there has been a moment of failure or a roadblock in your life and what you did to get around that. Some of my best realizations come from when I'm driving, and I hope that happens for you too. I had a realization a couple weeks ago that yeah, we all get it. I failed a couple times, but I brought myself back up and learned from those mistakes and carried on, because honestly, if I didn't, then I wouldn't be standing here today talking to you about what I did and my journey. Makara, New, and Scoot. They are the future of our island paradise, and I hope you take advantage of what they have to offer. They are paving the way for the future of what Bali needs to be. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to play a role in the start of the future. Thank you.